I sat on the sofa and poured myself a cup of tea. Faking an illness? In my presence, no one gets away with it. Chapter 6. The hospital called 3 hours later. My mother's voice was hoarse, shattered. Serafina, your father. He's in the ICU. They had to put him on a ventilator, the doctors said. They said if we'd arrived 5 minutes later. She couldn't finish the sentence. I set down my teacup. Is he conscious? No, he's in a coma. They don't know if he'll wake up. A sob tore from her throat. Serafina, please fix this. I know you can. Whatever you did to him, undo it. I'm begging you. I looked out the window at the manicured gardens of the Vance estate. The roses were in full bloom, crimson and gold, just as they had been on the day I'd first realized what I was. I had been 7 years old. A classmate had tripped on the playground and scraped her knee. She'd pointed at me, screaming that I'd pushed her. The teacher had believed her. The principal had called my parents. And the girl, still crying about how much it hurt, had suddenly stopped breathing. Her knee had been fine, but her lungs had filled with fluid. She'd spent 3 weeks in the hospital with pneumonia that appeared from nowhere and vanished just as mysteriously when I'd finally been forced to apologize for a crime I didn't commit. That was when I'd learned the rules. My gift, my curse, didn't care about justice. It only cared about intent. If someone claimed pain in my presence, whether they believed it or not, my power made it real. The more dramatic the performance, the more severe the consequence. And my father had put on quite a performance. Mom, I said gently, you know I can't undo it. You know it doesn't work that way. Then make him better. You're his daughter. You must have some control. I have no control. My voice was flat. You know that too. You've known it since I was 7. Since the Harrington girl. Since the housekeeper who claimed I'd broken her arm. Since the tutor who said I'd shoved her down the stairs. My mother was silent. Dad knew what he was doing. I continued. He knew the risk. He chose to fake a heart attack to manipulate me. And now he's experiencing the real thing. You're a monster, my mother whispered. No. I stood up, smoothing my gown. I'm a mirror. I only show people what they're pretending to be. I hung up. Chapter 7. The news spread fast. By morning, the entire city was talking about the Vance Barkley engagement debacle. The society pages ran headlines like medical heir chooses dying patient over bride and Vance heiress cancels engagement in dramatic fashion, but the medical community was focused on something else. Monica Ashworth, a 26-year-old medical resident with no prior history of cancer, had been diagnosed with stage 4 gastric adenocarcinoma overnight. The same girl who had posted a photo of herself eating spicy hot pot just yesterday was now being given 3 months to live. The whispers started immediately. Did you hear what Serafina Vance said at the party? Your cancer cells have just metastasized. And then they did. That's impossible. Cancer doesn't work that fast. And yet, here we are. Julian Barkley hadn't left the hospital in 48 hours. He'd scrubbed in for Monica's surgery, only to find that there was nothing to operate on. The cancer was everywhere, throughout her peritoneum, her liver, her lungs, her bones. It was inoperable, incurable. He stood outside her room now, watching through the glass as she thrashed against her restraints. The pain was so intense that she'd torn out her own 4 lines twice. The nursing staff had to sedate her just to keep her from biting through her tongue. How is she? I asked. Julian spun around. His eyes were bloodshot, his white coat wrinkled. He looked like he hadn't slept since the engagement party. You, he spat. What are you doing here? I came to check on my fiancé. I smiled, slow and cold. Oh, wait. That's not right. I came to check on the man who publicly humiliated me for a woman who lied about having cancer. Monica didn't lie. She didn't have cancer yesterday, Julian. You know it. I know it. Every doctor in this hospital knows it. I stepped closer, lowering my voice. So the question is, what changed?